This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 26th day of January in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. 12 Guyanese fishermen remain in Venezuelan custody tonight after their fishing vessel was seized by Venezuela's Navy in Guyana's exclusive economic zone last week. The move by Venezuela has triggered more diplomatic tensions between the two countries. Late yesterday, Guyana's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, held discussions with his Venezuelan counterpart. The Guyana Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the virtual meeting was cordial, and the Venezuelan Foreign Minister assured that the crew members were being treated with the utmost respect for their human rights. It is unclear when the 12 Guyanese crew members will be released, as Venezuela appears set to take them to court to face charges for illegal fishing, although they were within Guyana's exclusive economic zone. Venezuela has claimed that the two fishing vessels were in its undisputed waters and the fishermen were operating illegally. Guyana has rejected that notion. Guyana maintains that it was the Venezuelan Navy that illegally crossed over into Guyana's economic zone and arrested the fishermen and detained their boats. The Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd also met with the owners of the two fishing vessels yesterday as they expressed their worry about the safety of their crew. The government of Guyana has moved to inform the international community of Venezuela's latest actions, which comes just weeks after the Venezuelan government issued a decree claiming maritime space that belongs to Guyana. The seizure and detainment of the Guyanese fishing vessels and the crew also follows a recent joint patrol by the Guyana Coast Guard and the U.S. Coast Guard in an operation that was targeting illegal fishing and other illegal activities within Guyana's waters. More news coming up in just a moment.
People we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
I'm a lover of dancing since a small I danced the foxtrot. I feel a pain in the foot.
Lymphatic filariasis can be a chronic disease and left long enough without being treated or identified can cause debilitation. If you're infected as a child, it's there, it multiplies in your system, in your body for years until it actually causes damage to the lymphatic system.
So when it started to swell, I couldn't wear sandal. I couldn't wear a shoe.
The stigma that's attached to them, it's something that's overwhelming.
Yeah, these times your name changed. You're no longer who you are, Bigfoot lady.
When they used to share these tablets, I used to disregard them. And when I know the importance of the tablet, when I got this foot, then when they come around again and give me tablets, I throw down my throat in front of them and say, we're going to go inside and drink some water.
A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
Our Comfort Inn and Guest House is your home away from home. Located at 1277 Central Amelius Ward, we offer comfortable, affordable, air-conditioned, self-contained apartments with high-speed wireless internet access to make your stay luxurious. Whether you're overnighting, spending the weekend or longer, you're guaranteed satisfaction. Our hospitality is second to none. Rent our newly installed deck for your wedding, birthday party, or any other occasion. Call us today on 442-4186 or 672-2035 or 684-9009 for bookings and more information. R&R Comfort Inn and Guest House, where your comfort comes first.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Well, with two former ministers in the spotlight over gifts they received from the departments under their watch, Opposition Leader Joe Harmon believes that there should be a policy on gifts received while in office. The opposition leader explained that there are official gifts that are required by law to be accounted for. However, he does not believe the gifts received warranted such reporting. He also said the guidelines that the APNU-AFC coalition outlined for itself while in office were not breached. During a press conference yesterday, Mr. Harmon explained that gift-receiving policies will have to be tabled and passed in the National Assembly to become enforceable, adding that he believes such legislation will strengthen the country's democracy.
This is something which will have to now become part of the engagement by MPs and ministers with respect to their behavior in public office.
The opposition leader's comments came following revelations that former ministers of public infrastructure David Patterson and Annette Ferguson received pricey gifts totaling more than $3 million while in office from departments under their watch. The policies, according to Mr. Harmon, will have to incorporate to what extent the staff can make an appreciation to those above them.
To what extent do you say if your staff makes an appreciation to you that, okay, you need to find out from them whether they sub this thing together and came up with this, or it came from some government coffers. So it is a matter which we'll have to address very carefully and to lay down some very clear guidelines.
Mr. Harmon also said the PP civic government is in no moral position to make the accusations it's now making. The opposition leader also referenced criminal charges that were brought against the Attorney General Anil Nandlal for law books which he claimed were gifted to him by the former president Donald Ramotar.
Who in his defense to the law books which he was charged for criminally, 2.5 million. So no, this was a gift from the government of Guyana. He still got the gifts, you know. He still got the gifts.
Mr. Harman said those in glass houses should not be throwing stones. The Hess Exploration Company, which holds 30% interest in the Stabroek block, has allotted more than 80% of its capital and exploratory budget of $1.9 billion for 2021 to its Guyana operations. From that $1.9 billion budgetary allocation, 35% will go towards production, 41% to offshore Guyana development, and 24% for exploration and appraisal activities. The CEO of the company, John Hess, said the majority of its 2021 budget is allocated to Guyana, where 3 sanctioned oil developments have an oil price of between $25 and $25 per barrel US dollars. The company will also inject $235 million towards a Payara development, which it stated has a capacity to produce up to 220,000 gross barrels of oil per day, with the first production expected in 2024. Chief Operating Officer Greg Hill said offshore Guyana, the focus in 2021 will be on advancing the next 2 sanctioned developments to first oil, Liza Phase 2 in early 2022 and Payara in 2024. Funds are also included in the company's budget for well planning on Block 42 in Suriname, seismic acquisition and processing in Guyana, and the Deepwater Gulf of Mexico, and for license acquisitions. The Pan American Health Organization and the Ministry of Health are pushing to reach 80% of the population in their campaign against lymphatic filariasis. The last time the campaign was held in 2019, the health agencies were able to reach more than 500,000 persons and ensure they took their pills to protect themselves against filaria. Lymphatic filariasis is considered a neglected disease not only in Guyana but globally because the mortality rate for the disease is low. However, in the advanced stages of the disease, it brings great suffering, and the Lymphatic Filariasis Elimination Campaign seeks to eliminate the disease as a public health problem. Dr. Reza Niles, who is the focal point for neglected infectious disease vector control services in the Ministry of Health, explained that they are excited about the Mass Drug Administration campaign getting started again.
We're very excited here. I don't know if it's translating digitally in this digital age, but we're very, very excited to know that we're going to have our last round of Mass Drug Administration campaign. It's really called the Lymphatic Filariasis Elimination Campaign. And the way in which we do this is through this mass activity. We hand out 3 types of drugs because in 2019 we upgraded the ivermectin, decanalbendazole. We give this to everyone. Of course, there are a few exceptions.
The campaign will see pill distributors moving across the country in all the regions except regions 8 and 9.
Fortunately, region 8 and 9 were not considered endemic for lymphatic filariasis in a recent study done in 2018 and 2019. So this is where we go, and we have persons that are trained, and I guess everybody knows them. They wear purple, we call them pill distributors. And they go from house to house. They either go to schools or they go to something we call a fixed point, which is just anywhere where we can find mobile population.
The pills will not compete with medications being taken for other conditions, according to Dr. Niles.
They are low, but low enough to give the minimum effect of the drug, which we want is sterilizing the worms and giving clearance of the microfilaria in the blood. So these drugs, first of all, they're low dose, which is a prophylactic dose, which is what we use in mass drug campaigns around the world globally. And the second of all, these drugs don't compete with these substances for metabolism or elimination of forces in the body.
Lymphatic filariasis is a parasitic disease caused by microscopic thread-like worms. The adult worms only live in the human lymph system. The lymph system maintains the body's fluid balance and fights infections. Lymphatic filariasis is spread from person to person by mosquitoes. People with the disease can suffer from lymphedema and elephantitis, and in men, swelling of the scrotum, called hydrocele. Now let's tell you that the National Oil Spill Committee has been fully activated, and during an orientation session for the new members, Prime Minister Mark Phillips encouraged them to be proactive in finding and dealing with potential threats emanating from the oil and gas sector. Prime Minister Mark Phillips said that notwithstanding the vast potential the oil and gas industry possesses for Guyana's growth, it brings with it additional environmental risks that must be taken seriously. Director General of the CDC, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, said the orientation of the committee today is the first step in the process of operationalizing the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan. Among the stakeholders that took part in today's orientation were the Civil Defense Commission, the Guyana Defense Force, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Private Sector Commission, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Over lunch at State House, President Irfan Ali and the government team of 6 ministers today held initial discussions with officials of the small parties that took part in the last elections, including those that did not win any seat in parliament or on a regional council. According to a statement from the president's office, the president felt it was necessary to have a working lunch with the small parties and examine their thoughts as the government moves ahead with its plans for budget 2021.
So that we can arrive at a program in which all of Guyana feel as if they're part of it, and once all of us feel as if we are part of it, we'll all have ownership of that program. And once we have ownership of the National Development Program, then I'm convinced we will not only have greater prospect and prosperity for the people of our country, but more importantly, we'll be pushing further at a great opportunity ahead of us to unite the people of our country.
Present at the engagement were representatives from a new and united Guyana, Liberty and Justice Party, the Citizenship Initiative, the New Movement, Unite the Republican Party, and Change Guyana. The president told the small party representatives that there is the need for collective ownership of Guyana's development trajectory.
You know, I invited former President Granger to a meeting that he did not attend. And then we have the parliamentary opposition, well, not the opposition, one component of the opposition, who are still mischievously peddling the agenda that the government is illegitimate. And so we have that to deal with. So we have to deal with things in the context, and that is why that narrative has to be corrected.
And also at the meeting, President Ali spoke about his continued refusal to engage with the leader of the opposition, claiming that the opposition must first recognize the legitimacy of his government. Former President David Granger had refused to attend the meeting of former presidents, saying that there was no agenda in place and the president should really be engaging the leader of the opposition, Joe Harmon, who represents more than 47% of the voters in the last elections. Along with the budget discussions, the small parties were also briefed on the developments with Venezuela. Up to yesterday, the main opposition had not been briefed on the issues with the Venezuelan seizure of Guyanese-owned fishing boats and the detention of the crews. The Guyana Elections Commission has shot down claims by the Liberty and Justice Party that it is delaying the process to respond to the party's request to change its Region 8 councillor. In a statement this afternoon, the Elections Commission said the LJP first wrote to the Chief Elections Officer in September last year, indicating that due to COVID-19 restrictions, persons in the region were unable to travel to RDC meetings, and as a consequence, it wanted to replace its candidate with an alternate councillor. The RDC for Region 8 is still to be sworn in. According to GCOM, the representative of the LJP's candidates list was contacted and advised that the law does not make provisions for the appointment of alternate councillors, and therefore a revised letter must be submitted, clearly stating the party's request to have the gazetted councillor replaced. GCOM said the leader of the LJP, Lennox Schumann, wrote to the commission in November, informing that his party has been advised by legal counsel that there is no such guidance in electoral laws, and he insisted that the previous correspondence stands. The commission said the matter was extensively discussed at its meetings, and it was agreed that the LJP must submit proper documentation requesting a change of the councillor and provide justification for that request. GCOM said it got the correct letter as requested today and will now take all necessary steps to effect the change in keeping with the usual protocol. The LJP leader last week announced that his party has lost confidence in its selected councillor for the region. The move came after the selected councillor indicated that he would be voting to select the APNU-AFC representative to serve as the chairman of the council, since although the APNU-AFC and the PPP hold the same number of seats on the council, it is the APNU-AFC that secured the greater number of votes in the region between the two.
Been through it all.
But as a people, we have
Weathered every storm.
And risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
I'm a lover of dancing since a small I danced the foxtrot. I feel a pain in the foot.
Lymphatic filariasis can be a chronic disease, and left long enough without being treated or identified can cause debilitation. If you're infected as a child, it's there, it multiplies in your system, in your body for years until it actually causes damage to the lymphatic system.
So when it started to swell, I couldn't wear sandal, I couldn't wear a shoe.
The stigma that's attached to them, it's something that's overwhelming.
Yeah, these times your name changed. You're no longer who you are, Bigfoot lady.
When they used to share these tablets, I used to disregard them. And when I know the importance of the tablet, when I got this foot, then when they come around again and give me tablets, I throw down my throat in front of them and say, when I go inside and drink some water.
A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Due to the impacts of the global pandemic, COVID-19 across our nation, essential organizations like us have chosen to adopt innovative approaches to meet the emerging needs of our customers while protecting our employees. Here are some quick tips to make managing your GPL bill easier while we practice social distancing. To register for electronic billing, you can use the e-billing tab on your website. To access your bill balance, you can use 4 options: the website live chat at gpl.net, the online inquiry on our website under billing, SMS freedom by texting your GPL reference number to 624-0400 or 608-8400, or call our call center at 226-2600. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about, and ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
I'm a lover of dancing. Since a small I danced the foxtrot. I feel a pain in the foot.
Lymphatic filariasis can be a chronic disease, and left long enough without being treated or identified can cause debilitation. If you're infected as a child, it's there, it multiplies in your system, in your body for years until it actually causes damage to the lymphatic system.
So when it started to swell, I couldn't wear sandal, I couldn't wear a shoe.
The stigma that's attached to them, it's something that's overwhelming.
Yeah, these times your name changed. You're no longer who you are, Bigfoot lady.
When they used to share these tablets, I used to disregard them. And when I know the importance of the tablet, when I got this foot, then when they come around again and give me tablets, I throw down my throat in front of them and say, when I go inside and drink some water.
A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO.
Across the region right now, health facilities in Jamaica have been partnering with hotels to offer PCR tests for as much as $300 following requests from some of Jamaica's main international travel partners for a negative COVID-19 test from travelers. A negative PCR test result is required by the United Kingdom and Canada to facilitate travel, while the US with effect from today mandates proof of a negative PCR or antigen test. The prices being quoted for the test range from 22,000 Jamaican dollars to 43,000 Jamaican dollars, while the antigen assessments can cost anywhere between $6,500 and $17,000 privately. The PCR tests are considered the gold standard because of their accuracy. Antigen tests are slightly less precise but have a much faster turnaround in the results. The Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, expressed concern on Monday about not only the mushrooming of pop-up labs offering the tests, but the high cost persons are being asked to pay. Colombia's Minister of Defense has died in hospital after contracting coronavirus, the government has announced. The 69-year-old Carlos Trujillo was taken to the hospital with COVID-19 earlier this month and had developed viral pneumonia. A long-serving politician, he was a key figure in Colombia's struggle to combat organized crime. He had been treated in intensive care in a military hospital in the capital of Bogota. The minister was part of the reform of Colombia's constitution in 1991, which was a condition of a peace deal with the prominent guerrilla group M19. He's also a former mayor and held a range of government positions, including Interior Minister, Foreign Minister, and Education Minister. And finally tonight, international news. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has resigned, and it is not clear if he will be able to form and lead a new coalition government. Parties are divided over spending in the coronavirus crisis, in which more than 85,000 Italians have died. Mr. Conte met with the president, who may ask him to form a stronger government. Last week he lost his Senate majority, but someone else could become Italy's prime minister, or a snap election could be called. The law professor, who has headed coalition governments since 2018, tendered his resignation to the president. And now Mr. Conte is discussing the political crisis with the Senate president. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.